What's up, everybody, and welcome to my NXT Spring Breakin review. Haven't done an NXT review since probably Stand and Deliver, but given this is a special and whatnot, and got two titles on the line, might as well review this show then, since it's the Spring Breakin, which they did start off with most of the developmental guys or whoever part of the NXT roster all enjoying a cookout, basically talking about tonight's matches and whatnot. Everybody's sitting around, and that was the last time we seen Lash Legend or Wendy Chu around until tonight. But they're all like playing games, eating food, just hanging around, like Lopez, Dabakato, the Body Hobby guy, Nathan Frazier, several people and whatnot. Until they kicked off the show. We did start off with a trunk match, which they got this vintage like car, something you see out of the 40s or something, was by Henry Hill. Basically, they got that from Goodfellas. Which, then again, that's a real person, anyways. But yes, a trunk match. Think of it as a casket match or something like that. You have to throw your opponent in the back of the trunk to win the match. So this was a trunk match, pretty deadly, and Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. Basically, this was a wild brawl out here. A lot of crazy stuff in this match. It was just a tornado tag, just a no DQ tornado tag, which was pretty good, fun match out there. These guys are beating the hell out of each other, using surfboards, kendo sticks, chairs, several things out there as they're trying to fight to the back. I know they ended up throwing Stacks in there first, and was going to get Tony D'Angelo to put him in there, but when they opened the trunk back up, they got hit with the fire extinguisher. Tony hit like a crowbar to one of them, and then threw him in there. They ended up putting I think it was it Kit Wilson, threw like a table, then was like a double spine buster through there, and they ended up throwing him in the back of the trunk, and they drove off. So yeah, they drove off with the bodies then, Tony D'Angelo and Stack. So they won this trunk match. So this was a gimmick match here, which we're going to hear a little bit more about this throughout the night, since they were in the trunk and didn't know if they were going to get out of that. So yeah, this was a trunk match. So, mafia mobs match. That's all this really was. Um, Next, I know they had Andre Chase and Duke Hudson talk about, with Braun Breaker tonight and everything, but we're going to fight for Chase U. Breaker basically made quick work of Andre Chase out there, hitting the Steiner recliner for the win. Like I said, this is to get over Braun Breaker's his new heel thing, which, like I said before, I thought it was still kind of odd. It was hard to call him a heel, given that Melo and them did cheat to win the NXT title, but fans were already tired of Breaker. But then they cheered Breaker when he beat up Melo and started chanting one more time, making the fans very fickle, don't even know whose side to take. Because how is he the heel when he got screwed over the title? Like, really think about that. He did get screwed over the belt. Um, I know they never trying to interview Dragunov, but Dijak ended up attacking him, then beating him up and like trying to drop the garage door on him. Lyra, Lyra, Lyra Valkyria went against Cora Jade. Um, it's okay match. And whatnot. I will say my friend ended up meeting Cora Jade today, so that was pretty cool. And whatnot. But yeah, the match was okay. I know Cora Jade tried to get that giant kendo stick. Cora tried to use it like a shield and whatnot after Lyra ended up hitting a kick at her, but it did not work. Cora ended up hitting like a big DDT on her for the win. So yeah, Cora Jade ended up beating Lyra Valkyria. I know they went back to Tony and Stacks in the car, as basically they got the camera driving and whatnot, and they had to slam the trunk a few times just to shut up Pretty Deadly, since they kept talking, trying to get out, and they're not going to get out. Next was the NXT title on the line, which actually surprises, like literally in the middle of the show, between Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller not having all the girls with him like last time with the sparklers and stuff, but Melo having like the Lakers colors on once again. I actually like this match. This was really good between both of them. A lot of action that never really died down. Crowd was definitely into it. A lot of crazy stuff. I know both of these guys are technically supposed to be heels out there, but there was like one move that Melo did, like he just jumped off the ropes and hit this like crazy inverted DDT, which looked insane. There wasn't that, Waller hitting his big springboard not springboard, but rolling stunner, because he ended up taking out Trick with the chair and whatnot to get rid of him. I know Waller cleared the announce table, then hit a big elbow drop in, taking down Melo, tried to get Melo in the ring for a count for a pinfall, but it did not work. Melo ended up getting with like a big code breaker in, and end up yanking I know Waller ended up hitting Melo in the throat with like the ropes. He tried to go for the stunner again, but Melo ended up getting out of it, hitting a kick in. Because Waller did like hurt his ankle or foot, I guess, or was it his knee, and he couldn't even complete that stunner. But Melo ended up hitting his finisher for the win then, and then he ended up calling out Braun Breaker. Says we're gonna do this a battleground, NXT battleground. So he called out the challenge to Breaker. And next you know, Trick and Melo are standing there waiting and waiting and waiting, and Braun Breaker just throws up from behind, taking out both of them, then hitting the Steiner recliner on the Trick, and then hitting a big spear onto Melo through like a big barricade then. So, like I said, the Melo Braun feud continues, but good stuff from there. Um, what was it? Joe Gacy challenging Joe Coffey next week for like the Dyad if they win and get some title shots. Which, by the way, their contract's coming up later on, I guess, in the year in October, since they did say that their contracts were they requested a release of their contracts, but they were denied it then. So there you go. A story I'm getting tired of on this show was Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley versus Jensen and Kiana James, which the match was okay, but I am just sick of this whole story at this point. I wonder how long it can keep going. It did end up with Briggs and Henley getting the win because Kiana James kept telling Brooks to use the bag and everything, but it did not work. And then Jensen ended up because Jensen ended up knocking Kiana to the floor. And Jensen said, listen, man, we're still together and everything. But Jensen ended up blocking a slap from her. And Kiana says, I never loved you and whatnot. And then, Briggs ended up, going to help his friend out, even though when they had to fight. So the moral of the story, I guess, at the end of this is bros over hoes. That's basically what it is. But still, I was sick of this story in general. I had enough of it. One thing I saw impressive on this show was the debut of Oba Femi versus Oro Mensah, which wasn't he supposed to be getting a push? What happened to that? But this guy is really good. Just basically, basically domination force. Taking out this guy. Just a lot of big moves from him, big power moves, which look really good. And just really good stuff. I like this finisher, like a big power bomb for the win on Mensah. So this Oba Femi dude is really good. This guy he looks great. I would say that, and a very good debut for him. So his strength is insane out there. So be watching out for this guy because I think he's going to be really good. I know Gigi Dolan ended up calling out JC Jane for next week and said, you want to call out my family, where she said her little brother's going to be there. So to watch her get her skull caved in and whatnot. So Gigi inviting her brother next week. Gulak and Dempsey, I guess, going after that North American title from Wes Lee, saying it's a marathon, not a sprint. But Tyler Bates said he would watch Wesley's back next week. But in the main event, we did get Indi Hartwell, Roxy, and Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship. Very rough match out there, okay? And it was kind of good at first until this big swan time, which took out Indi Hartwell a lot. I won't say majority of this match, but a good portion of this match, wondering if she was really hurt from her ankle and whatnot. I will say that Swan Time did look dangerous. Tiffany Stratton did to the outside of the ring, but there was a lot of bad spots out here, and it was just kind of somewhat going on the fly in the end of the rest of this match, which it kept going and whatnot, and Indi ended up finally returning near the end of this match, and whatnot, continuing it, and stuff, because I know it ended up with, Stratton ended up hitting, like, her big moonsault onto Roxy, to go for the win. Indi ended up taking, Stratton out then after that, breaking it up, and then, Indi ended up hitting, like, a big forearm to, Roxy for the win. So yeah, Indi Hartwell still continuing this match, which possibly she was hurt, but they did throw up the X sign, so maybe she was really hurt throughout this, but she still ended up finishing the match then. And then the end of the show, right before they ended, I guess Tony D and them end up murdering pretty deadly. So live murder, folks, or in this case, some would say that them maybe getting called up in the draft. I'm not really sure. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. But all I can do is say wait and see what happens then. If anybody from NXT is going to get called up in the draft, I'm not really sure, but you never know. But we'll probably find out this Friday on SmackDown when the draft actually happens. But the spring breaking show was it was okay. The main event was kind of rough. I did enjoy Mello and Waller a lot, and I thought that Oro Femi guy was actually a pretty good debut out there, and even the trunk match was pretty fun. I will say that. So, um, okay, show for this spring breaking show tonight. So yeah. Other than that, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Hood1990. I'm out of here. See y'all then. Peace out.